Hey guys, Adam here. Sorry I haven't done a review of the Oneplus 7 Pro, but here it is. Let's get started. So this is the Oneplus 7 Pro, and this by far is one of my favorite phones that I've ever used. And I've used actually a lot of phones. I've used my first phone, which was my iPhone 5S, and from the last current phone that I had, it's my iPhone XR. But now, since I have the Oneplus 7 Pro, this is officially my favorite phone that I've ever used. Now, here's why. There's three main reasons why I like this phone. First, the price. Second, the display. And third of all, the specs. So let's first talk about the price. Now, this is one of the best things about this phone. This phone is super cheap, and for what you get. So this phone I got for $369. Now, the retail price was $669, and on OnePlus's website, it has gone down to $499. So if you want it brand new, I'll leave a link in the description on OnePlus's website, and it's actually a really good deal. Now, I did get it seller refurbished, and it does seem it's in pretty good condition. I did notice some screen burning, but it's not that bad. And yeah. Now, second of all is the display. Now I'm also going to talk about the design in this section. So actually, let's first start off with the display though. The display is a 6.67 QHD fluid AMOLED display, and it's a super good panel. It's an OLED panel, and you can see it's very sharp. You obviously cannot see any pixels. It's at, I believe, about 516 pixels per inch, so that's better than the iPhone XR. That's better than that's even better, actually, that's better than the iPhone 11 Pro. iPhone 11 Pro has 458 ppi. Now, the display isn't the brightest. It is still extremely bright. I'm not saying it's not bright. Like, it's still really bright. It's just not as bright as other panels. It gets to about 625 nits, which is actually about the same as the iPhone XR. So it's not that bad. And when you're in any kind of light, it's very usable, and you can even see it in sunlight perfectly fine. So yeah. So the design. The design is very well built. Around the edges, we have a aluminum frame. Now, I do have a case, and this is a spec case that I got for $11, and it's actually really great because it protects all the edges. Even actually the sides right here where there's really curved bezels. But it's still really good. It's still a really good case. It's about $11. Search it up on eBay. I'll probably not leave it in the description. But yeah. So yeah, all aluminum frame, and then on the back we have glass, and I actually really like. That's what I really like about this phone, because it still feels premium. Now, something cool about the Nebula Blue version is that the Nebula Blue feels more textured, so it feels more like an iPhone 11 Pro. And so it makes it feel like it's really like a flagship phone. So another thing I'm going to talk about in this section is the camera. Now, the camera is actually pretty good. I wouldn't say as good as an iPhone 11 or an iPhone 11 Pro, but it's still up there. It's still a very good camera. It has a 48 main megapixel camera, a 3x telephoto camera, and a 0.6 times ultra wide camera. And so it's actually a really good camera setup. It's like what basically like all phones have now in 2020, and you can take some really nice shots. I've gotten some pretty nice shots from the back camera. Now on the front camera, it's not the best, and it's definitely not as good. you can see actually the camera pops up, and that's why we have no bezels around the whole entire edge of this phone. And you can see it's not great. It's still pretty sharp. You can record up to 1080p at 30 frames per second. Now let's talk more about that back camera. The back camera can record 4K to 60 frames per second, just like the iPhone 11 Pro Max. Now, not 8K, but, you know, that's kind of more of a 2020 thing, and this thing was made in 2019, so what can I say? So now so the telephoto camera is going to be the best, and it's going to look the best, and it's going to be pretty sharp. I'm actually just going to take a photo right now with this phone. Here we go. And you can see it's very, very good, very clear, and it's still very sharp. And I actually really like the colors on this thing. So, yeah. Now, let's talk about the ultra-wide camera. So, what I've noticed about this camera is that it's kind of soft, and kind of, it's not really grainy, but it's more kind of soft. But I'll still take a photo of it. It also doesn't autofocus as well. But I'm just going to take a picture of this leaf right. Actually, just this. It's still a really good camera, like the ultra-wide camera, but you can see it's a little bit soft around the edges. You can kind of see, and it's definitely not as good as the main camera. Now let's talk about the telephoto camera. The telephoto camera, I would say about as good as actually the main camera. And it's pretty good. I don't really have any complaints about it. I'm just going to take an example photo of this leaf again. And it's really good because it makes it look pretty sharp. Let's focus right here. There we go. So you can see it's very good, and it actually makes it look really nice. This one specifically blurred out this, which is actually a little bit and it blurred out some of the edges over here, which is actually really nice. I kind of like this photo. But yeah, that's the main camera setup. So yeah. Now let's talk about the specs. So, this is probably the best thing about this phone. Well, one of the best things, but now remember the price. Let's just say $499 because that's what most people are going to pay for. You can see this is a Snapdragon 855, 8 gigabytes of RAM, 256 gigabytes of UFS 3.0 storage, which is actually really rare on a phone. Not a lot of phones have that. A 48 plus 16 plus 8 megapixel camera, which is what I was talking about. And yeah, it's really great. And it's on Oxygen OS 10.0.2. Now, how has the OS been? It's actually been really great. It's basically stock Android. And so that's what I actually really, really like about this, because there's no really bloatware, and that's really great. It's also on Android 10, you can see. And that's another great thing. I noticed that it gets updated a lot more than Samsung phones. Samsung phones, the Note 10 until recently was on Android 9. Like, this phone has had Android 10 for a really long time, like for 4 months, just right after even the Google Pixel. So, yeah, it's a really great phone, and, yeah. So, Snapdragon 855, it can play games great. Everything is really, really speedy, especially with that 90 hertz display, so it makes it feel fast, and it is actually really fast. Even doing the craziest games and the most intensive ones, still amazing. So we're going to start off with a really simple game like Doodle Jump, and you could see it's perfect 60 FPS. There's no problems at all, as you would expect, for basically a flagship smartphone that is mid-range price. And it's a really great performance for those kind of games. Now let's talk about the more heavy, intensive game. Let's jump into Asphalt 8. So this is this isn't going to take that long to load because this is a really fast phone. So we're about 10 seconds in, and it's still loading, which is expected. It takes a little while, obviously, but it's still extremely fast for what I've noticed, and yeah. So the actual game to get into the game took about 40 seconds, which isn't too bad. And yeah, now we're actually doing the game, and this is at like the highest possible max settings. So you can see it's at a perfect like 60 FPS, and yeah, it looks amazing. You can see it's really great, and it's amazing because this 90 hertz display and combined with no bezels at all is amazing because you have a full screen experience right here. So yeah, I'm horrible at Asphalt 8, by the way. So yeah. So I just imported about a 1-minute video to Video Shop, and so I'm gonna do a little test here to just to share it, and then just save to camera roll. Now this is advanced. Let's do 1080p, 60 FPS, save to camera roll. So let's see how long this takes. This is actually so fast. It's already at 15%. Now, just letting you know, this is a 1080p 60 FPS video. So this is going extremely fast, almost as fast as basically like the iPhone like 11 Pro. So you could see taking about 10, like it's only been like 10 or 15 seconds, and it's done. Yep, it's done. There you go. You get basically a 1-minute video, 1080p 60 FPS in about 20 to 30 seconds, which is amazing. So yeah. So another thing that I'm going to talk about is the audio. So the audio is pretty good. Let's just do top songs. I don't know. Okay, the box. Okay. So this is with dual firing speakers. So you see it's pretty loud. So I'm going to just play it for like about 10 or 20 seconds. And so you can hear it. So, and it's actually doing with dual speakers. So let's just say I cover one of them, it's still gonna play out of the other speaker. So I'm gonna cover it. I'm covering it with. Okay, well I'm covering it with the next one, and then there you go. So the other one's still playing, and it's really good. I don't really have a problem with it. So it's actually really, really great. Sounds great because it's Dolby Atmos speakers. It's also really good for headphones, because it's just, oh shoot, sorry about that. It's really great for headphones because these Dolby Atmos speakers sound great. Like the Dolby Atmos thing, I'm not really good with headphones, but I know Dolby Atmos does this thing where they like improve the quality of some kind of headphones, like Sennheiser's and Sony wireless headphones. So yeah, make sure to keep that in mind. So some people don't really care about this, but some people do, so I'm just going to talk about it. You might have noticed that this doesn't have a headphone jack. This isn't really a problem in 2020. It was kind of a problem like, maybe 2 years ago. It's not really a problem anymore. But if you don't like, if you don't like that there's no headphone jack on here, I understand, but there's still like USB-C headphones, there's wireless earbuds, so just use those and you should be good. So yeah, guys, that's basically all I had to talk about. Yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for more videos because I'm going to be uploading a lot more. You might have noticed that I uploaded a YouTube video about a day ago, I think. And yeah, it was like on like this stupid Minecraft video. But it was like how there was weird glitches and stuff like that. But I am going to be uploading more videos. So stay tuned for that, and I'll see you in the next one.